everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to factor by grouping. So this method is typically used when you have 4 terms. As we see below, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. If this method does not work, you would have to find rational roots and factor it down that way. But always try this method first because it's the easiest. So factor by grouping. The first thing I'm going to do is in the title, I'm going to group. I'm going to group the first 2 terms and the second 2 terms. Notice in the second 2 terms, I did group the sign in front of the third term here. So make sure you do that. That will come into play later. So now I am going to find the greatest common factor between each of the parentheses. So let's start with the first parenthesis. I'm going to draw like a little line here. So I'm going to find the GCF between 4x cubed and 6x squared. So I'm going to write out all my factors. So my factors of 4 are 1 times 4, 2 times 2, and I have 3 x's. I only wrote 1, 2 because I didn't want to be repetitive. The factors of 6 are 1 and 6, 2 and 3, and I have 2 x's. So let's circle. The biggest number I see they have in common is this 2. And they have 2 x's in common. So my greatest common factor is 2x squared. See, I have 2 and 2 x's. Let's find the GCF between negative 2x and 3. My factors of 2 are 1 and 2 and 1x. I just like to ignore the negative sign when I find the GCF. We'll use it later. And my factors of 3 are 1 and 3. So my greatest common factor is just a 1. That's the only number they have in common. So I'm going to take out a 1. But because the parenthesis starts with a negative, I'm going to take out a negative 1. Just like how this first parenthesis started with a positive, and I took out a positive 2x. So if this parenthesis starts with a positive, I would take out a positive. Now, let's go ahead and take this 2x out of the first parenthesis. We're going to do that by dividing. So I'm going to write my 2x here, 2x squared, and write some parentheses, and let's divide. So I have, get my tool here, 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now let's look at our x's. I had 3 x's, but I took 2 out, so I only have 1 left. Bring down this sign, the minus sign, and divide. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And I had 2 x's, but I took 2 out, so I don't have any left. So I'm just going to leave that as a 3. And now let's take out the negative 1 of the second parenthesis and divide. So negative 2 divided by negative 1 is positive 2. I have 1 x here, and I didn't take any x's out. So that x is still hanging there. Positive 3 divided by negative 1 is negative 3. Now you're going to pause, and you're going to double check that these parentheses are the same. If they're the same, you did it correctly, and you can move on. If they are not the same, you either did something wrong or you're not able to use this method for factoring. So since they're the same, let's write our final answer. You just write one of the repeating parentheses, 2x minus 3. And then your other parenthesis is what's on the outside. 2x squared minus 1. And this is factored all the way. You will want to check if you have a squared like this. You will want to check if you can factor using difference of squares. But to do that, I would have to be able to take the square root of 2 and 1, and that doesn't work out. I can't take the square root of 2 and get a whole number. So I know that this is my final answer. I hope this helps. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you would like math help or math videos. Thanks.